Alright, so this is going to be my Mount Rushmore of bass players, and then I'll do a few more after my top four. Uh, Number one is going to be John Entwistle. Got into the Who in high school, got to see them in concert in '98. They were doing the Quadrophenia album as the main set. Uh, Entwistle does a bass solo on the song 515, and they had the GoPro, like a camera pointed down at the fingerboard, and so you're seeing his hands and the strings, and you're feeling it through the earth. And I decided to get a bass. I don't know if it was that night, but within a short time, I had my first bass. So that I'm doing all my research and reading interviews and stuff. And one name that keeps coming up is Mike Watt. So in October of that same year, went and saw Mike Watt with a friend. The tour was for Contemplating the Engine Room, and he comes out with this big beard and has this 60s non-reverse Gibson Thunderbird that's all beat up, and his intensity and just total commitment is he's great live, and he's great bass player, great album, yeah. And so some of my earliest songs where I looked up tab and would practice on and just sort of build the dexterity and the hand strength was on Watt's stuff. Again, I'm starting out, I'm doing all my research, and Jameson keeps coming up. So I get Standing in the Shadow of Motown. Of course, Motown music was around, it was in the movies, but now I'm training my ear, and I'm going back to this music that was just around growing up, and starting to learn to listen and hear what he's doing. I could go on and on about all these guys, including Jameson, but I always have one bass with flat wounds as a homage to Jameson. And another thing, I tried to learn playing with, alternating between two fingers, and the sound was never consistent. But I'm reading, and Jameson only played with one finger, and so I just gave up on this, and I focused on this, and so that's what I do. So Jameson, maybe more than anybody, has impacted how I play. Number three, who we got? No, that was he was three. Yeah. Number four, Dusty Hill. ZZ Top, again, it's around when I'm a kid, and this is kind of the most recent for me, but you grow up and ZZ Top is on MTV and everything, and I don't really think I was familiar with their older stuff, because why would I be? But somehow I just happened to start, I hear ZZ Top somewhere, and I'm like, man, this bass is really good. And so I deep dive. And so this is what I've come to realize. Dusty Hill and Frank Beard are one of the best rhythm sections of all time. And Dusty, he's playing blues. He's not really doing anything too complicated or even original per se, but he's always got great tone. He's always just dead on, and and so that's kind of the last couple years or 3 years. That's what I have been drawn to as far as learning and just training myself. Yeah, I was gonna see ZZ Top, or at least I was looking at days, and then COVID and Dusty died, and I get to go see them in August with Elwood on bass, and Elwood. I'm excited about that. It's you know, I got to see Entwistle before he died, and I didn't get to see Dusty, and that is what it is. So a couple honorable mentions. I'm gonna mention Flea. Uh, I like Flea, and I like a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he's an influence on me in that when I started out in '98, you go into a guitar store and you go to where the basses are, and there is a guy playing Higher Ground, it without fail, um, and so it wasn't anything directed at Flea, but it was just directed at um, where everybody else was at when I was starting out. That I said, okay, I'm gonna go in another direction, and so I really latched on to Jameson, and pushed off what Flea was doing tone wise and with the slapping and popping. I can um, I can do that, and it's not a bad tone or anything. Um, it's just not something that I use in real world settings. Um, Jaco Pastorius. Uh, I do not like Jaco. So when I started out, especially guys like my dad's friends, or my friends' dads, that generation, as soon as they find out you got a bass, they tell you you have to get into Jaco, and one of them gave me a biography on Jaco. And so I'm sitting in a hotel lobby on a family vacation reading, and Jaco is getting his tour canceled because he's jumping off of balconies and missing pools and breaking his legs. And while this is happening, weather report comes over on the lobby of the hotel, and I just Jaco rubbed me the wrong way. And so when I got into fretless, and was really into fretless for a bit, tone wise, I went in the opposite direction of Jaco. He plays with the into the bridge pickup and plays back by the bridge, and so I moved my hand up by the neck, and I went with a P bass or a pickup by the neck. Let's see. Okay, a couple honorable mentions. Jack Bruce, of course. Jack Bruce with Cream. When you getting into the classic rock, he was just like one of the first guys that you could really hear what he was doing. And in my mind, he's kind of the proto, the archetype of the bass player, lead singer, and yeah, so love me some Jack Bruce. Sting, with the Police and with his solo stuff. The thing with Sting, and I think it may be because he's singing. I mean, he's always singing, but his parts are pretty simple, and just sort of starting out. Sting was somebody who was really accessible to me, and I might be starting to go through a little bit of a Sting phase right now. So maybe I'm moving out of my Dusty Hill phase, and I'll have a little police phase for the next year. We'll see. All right, that's it.